some disagreement over the procedure for extradition. The United States would like to see Turkey provide evidence for the alleged involvement of Fethullah Gulen in the coup, whereas Turkey has been less forthright in terms of doing the exact paperwork and bureaucratic processes needed to try and get his extradition. Whether or not that will affect Syria, I'm not so sure, because Turkey to date has not interrupted American operations out of Incirlik Air Force Base, and has said that it will not. And so I think, again, you have two separate issues here. One, the U.S. war against the Islamic State, and two, the U.S.-Turkish problems over Fethullah Gulen and the fallout from the failed coup in Turkey recently. Certainly there are some people here are concerned about our potential Turkish-Russian relationship, but I think it's important to put this in proper context. I mean, the meeting between Russian President Putin and Turkish President Erdogan has long been planned. It's sort of meant to punctuate or at least end what has been an ongoing rapprochement between the two countries for the past couple of months. And the coup attempt and then the fallout from the coup attempt just happened to get in the way of that. And so certainly there are some concerns about the Turkish-Russian relationship, but I think there's a general sense here in Washington that Turkey has no other ally other than the United States, and the idea that Turkey and Moscow could strike some sort of relationship even close to what the U.S. and Turkey has is probably far-fetched. I think the Turkish government has, for a couple of months now, made it very clear that it seeks to go back to the relationship it had with Russia before the Turkish Air Force shot down a Russian jet in Syria. And I think this meeting that's coming up, in St. Petersburg will be just the way to cap it all off, is that this is the end of this long-standing rapprochement period between the two countries. And I think it will be largely economic focused. The two countries have a strong economic ties, largely between Russian natural gas being exported to Turkey, but also Russian tourists who visit Turkey, and some Turkish construction activity in Russia as well. And so the two countries have an incentive to get those ties back together, those being economic ties, whereas their problems in Syria remain. And so I think you'll see a compartmentalized relationship between the two countries. The United States battle plan for Mosul, obviously remains a secret, and I don't have any inside information here, but from what we see is that they largely want this to be led by the Iraqi security forces. Obviously there will be Americans embedded with them and American aircraft providing air cover for the expected operation, and also Peshmerga on the northern side, obviously. And as of now, I don't see a role for Turkey in the Mosul operation, except that it plays a part within the coalition, and that it hosts the airbase, from which probably some strikes in the city will be carried out from. But in terms of post-Mosul planning, I think the United States would like to leave that up to the government in Baghdad. The idea that foreign powers could come in and dictate what Mosul becomes, what it is something in this town that nobody wants, and I think will definitely work against.